Hi, this is Stuart Salwin from the Salwin Law Group, and today I'd like to talk to you about how much a DUI really costs in Arizona. So first off, what do I mean when I say really costs? Now, obviously there's fines and fees associated with a DUI, but the cost of a DUI can go beyond those. These are costs that aren't imposed by law, but they're associated costs that come with a DUI conviction. And in this video, I want to break those down to give you an idea of the type of money that you're actually going to be looking at spending if you do get convicted of a DUI. First, let's talk about the obvious. There are fines associated with a DUI if you plead guilty or if you're found guilty after trial. And these are going to require that you pay certain minimum fines and assessments. There's simply no way around those in Arizona. These are what are called mandatory minimum fines. That means that it's imposed by law. So even if a judge wanted to lower the fines, it would be impossible to do so because Arizona law says that a person has to be charged these mandatory minimum fines. So what you're looking at for a standard DUI conviction is a base fine of $250. But what you have to count on top of that is that there's also surcharges that the law imposes, which can effectively double the fines. So that base fine you're looking at is actually going to total about $500. That doesn't end the minimum fines, though. There's also a $1,000 assessment that has to be paid to the Arizona Prison Construction Fund, as well as another assessment on top of that of $1,000 for the Public Safety Equipment Fund. Then finally, on top of that, there's another assessment for $250 for the DUI Abatement Fund. So in between all the fines and assessments, what you're looking at is a grand total of about $2,750 just for the fines. But another thing you want to consider is that these are just the mandatory minimum fines. A DUI in Arizona is a Class 1 misdemeanor, which means that the total fines you could be looking at are up to $4,500 in base fines. The judges in Arizona will usually stick to the mandatory minimums, but still it's something you want to consider, because if your DUI has especially bad facts to it, maybe there was an accident, maybe your BAC was really high, then you could be looking at the judge imposing higher than the mandatory minimums. Now, another requirement of the DUI conviction is that you have to install an ignition interlock device on your car for 12 months. An ignition interlock device is something that you have to install in your car, and it's like a miniature breathalyzer that goes onto your steering wheel, and you have to blow into it in order to get your car to start. If the breathalyzer sees that you don't have any alcohol in your breath, then your car starts. Now, the ignition interlock device isn't free to install, though. The government doesn't pay for that. You have to pay for that out of pocket by going to an authorized company that will install the ignition interlock on your car. And after they install it, you also have to go back to the company periodically. Sometimes it's every month, sometimes it's every 2 months, in order to have that device calibrated, have it checked out to make sure that it's still working properly. So with all of those costs, you're looking at about $1,000 a year for the total cost of the ignition interlock device. Another thing is that if you are arrested for a DUI and then your car is towed and impounded, you have to pay a $500 fee to get your car out of impound. Now, every type of DUI conviction in Arizona also comes with mandatory jail time. But serving your time in jail is not free. That actually costs. You have to pay in order to go to jail. As of July 1st of 2021, it'll cost $396 just to be booked in jail. And then after you're booked in jail, you're going to have to pay $102 for each day that you serve in jail. So depending on how long your jail sentence is, you could be looking at spending several $100s just to serve your jail time. Now, after all this is done and you've served your time in jail, you're probably going to want to get your license back so that you can start driving normal again after ADOT suspends your license for the DUI. That's also going to cost. One of the first things you're going to have to do is pay a $10 license reinstatement fee to MVD. Now that charge on its own really isn't so bad, but what is going to be costly about this process is the insurance that you're going to have to get. You're going to have to show MVD what's called proof of financial responsibility. This is also known as SR22 insurance. The cost to get SR22 insurance will change depending on who your insurance provider is, but the range can go anywhere from $1,100 all the way up to $5,000 to get this type of insurance coverage. On top of that SR22 insurance, your annual car insurance premium overall is likely going to go up. Now, according to what I found on valuepenguin.com, for a driver in Arizona, the premium you're going to have to pay can increase anywhere between 33% to up to 165% of what you're paying now for your car insurance. And these annual premium increases are going to likely stay on your insurance bill for at least 3 years, and it could be longer. So even for the smallest premium increase, you're looking at best about $300 a year for 3 years for a total of $900 in extra insurance premiums. Or in some of the most extreme examples, a $2,000 a year premium increase for a total of $6,000 over the course of 3 years. So everybody's case is different, and depending on the cost for the ignition interlock device as well as the company that you choose to get your insurance from, your cost for what you'll pay in a DUI is going to vary. But you're looking at a total cost for a DUI conviction, including absolutely everything you have to pay, at an average of about $7,000 to $11,000. Now, if you have been arrested for a DUI or you're facing DUI charges, then of course one of the smartest things you can do is give an attorney a call. Usually criminal defense attorneys will offer free consultations for DUIs, and whether it's me or somebody else, you owe it to yourself to at least take advantage of that opportunity. Talk to an attorney, see what your options are and what can be done about your DUI, because you don't want to go this alone. Now, nobody can tell you exactly what will happen in your case unless they have a crystal ball and can predict the future, but I can tell you that I have worked with a lot of DUI clients in the past and gotten good results for them, whether that's been lower charges or dismissals of the charges. Thanks for watching, and if this video has been helpful and you'd like to see more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to help get this video out to other people who might also need to know this information. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.